It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
The academy pulling strategy, still in my steed. Ain't no flattery, fuck your salary, bitch, I'm a king. They can't rattle me, sit to shatter me, killing my dreams. Them bitches couldn't even straddle me, I'm the supreme god, like living alright. You niggas alright, diamond in the rough compared to Moisturize. I do this for them Garvey ice, Swiss Army knife, I do it all, boy. Know some people watching me only want me to fall, boy. But I'm a Booker T, Nolan, a southern beast, flow as deep as a submarine. Haters clocking and count streams. I used to work inside a kitchen, dog, you think I'm tripping? Imagine using your opinions just to make a living. Mix it with my educated expertise, yes indeed. Niggas that wouldn't say I'm next trying to get next to me. My homies used to rock a vest inside them SUVs. From sous chef to sharing recipes. My nigga plotting on the mill, I give them something to feel, yeah. My foundation is strong enough I could build her. Groundbreaking the promise to keep it trill, nigga. Everything that I want I'm bound to fulfill. Ayy, plotting on the mill, I give them something to feel, yeah. My foundation is strong enough I could build her. Groundbreaking the promise to keep it trill, nigga. Everything that I want I'm bound to fulfill, ayy.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. What the fuck is up, man? Yeah, we here to talk today. So I don't know if everybody that's here right now knows what's going on, but let me just give y'all a quick rundown, okay? So y'all know a couple days ago I did the interview with Chapo. The interview is still growing. I think we're getting close to 9,000 views on the video. It's still continuing to grow within this within the space, within the culture. More people are coming to it, and there's some people out there that don't like the fact that I was audacious enough, I don't know, to speak to him. You know what I'm saying? So people are starting to come to me and try to discredit me for having a conversation with Chapo, which I think is completely unfair. There's people out here that will literally have conversations with faceless voices that claim that they're responsible for botting music. There's people out here that will literally sit down with somebody in let's just say racially insensitive clothing on in front of them to do an interview for clout. But yet I'm not supposed to talk to an established songwriter who's been in the industry since about 14 years old, who's been signed to one of the most important people in the music industry at this point, as in Harvey Mason Jr., the head of the Recording Academy, which is the organization over the Grammys. This is a person who spent time in the studio, in meetings, working on records with those types of people, working with MBK Entertainment, the same company that found her, Tyrese, Alicia Keys. I believe Tiara Thomas was with them at one point. There's a lot of different people that come from the lineage that this man comes from, and I'm not supposed to talk to him about his experience in the industry. Now, I understand. I won't say y'all, I came to find out about Chapo because of some leaks, some alleged reference tracks that hit the net, right? And because those hit the net, I heard people online saying, this sounds like XYZ. They said it sounded like Chapo. I investigated him, right? I didn't say that was Chapo. I said it sounds like him, and I'm going to go investigate who he is. So as I did my investigative work to find out who he is, this was completely without talking to him. I did my own independent research, and I showed y'all what was out there. In the interim of me doing, I think I did almost 3 videos talking about Chapo, had never spoken to him. Okay? So we were able to uncover the fact that he was working with said people without him ever telling me, because it was available online. These were things that were available if anyone was willing to go look. I was, right? So now, come last night. The video's been out for a couple days. Now we get Akademiks TV. You know, the minions of the DJ that don't spin. So they take to Twitter, not only Twitter, but also Instagram. And they're basically coming out trying to discredit the interview and basically try to discredit Chapo. They put out a series of DMs that we can't even verify if they're real, number one. But number two, they're claiming that the DMs were sent to Drake. Okay? That's their claim. They claim that Chapo sent these unanswered DMs to Drake, basically begging to work in their assessment, in their coverage. That's what they stated. But on the actual DMs, you don't see Drake. You don't see Champagne Poppy. You don't see Drake photo. We don't know who these alleged texts are supposed to be sent to, right? But now it's kind of gotten to a point where, again, the Twitter bots, Act TV, all these people, they're coming out trying to discredit the work, discredit the story, and discredit the interview that took place over the last couple of days. And, you know, I'm not going to come over here and just like start spitting venom and going crazy because I don't think that is necessary. But I will come out and back up the integrity of our conversation based on what I went out and did. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Chapo, you know what I mean? I spoke to Chapo. He seems to be in good spirits. He kind of expected a campaign, but I don't think he's interested in like coming out and trying to defend himself or whatever. He said what he said. He did what he did. And to be honest, the conversation that we had, we spoke for nearly 2 hours. An hour and a half of that conversation was captured on video. I don't even think within the first hour we even mentioned Drake, right? Only time his name came up was in relation to the Kendrick and Drake battle that we all consumed publicly. We all have talked about in all forms of public media, whether that be social media, whether that be YouTube, whether that be amongst our friends, family, whoever. Everybody has an opinion about that, the moves that took place in that battle. I don't have no qualms about people feeling a way about our opinions pertaining to that. But that's the only time his name was brought up in the interview. Some people may try to piecemeal some things together, and that's perfectly fine. That's your personal thought process, how you want to put things together and say, oh, at this point he's talking about dude. Cool. But you can't put that out there as fact. Now, can you? Now, let's get to what they have to say. So this is what No Spin TV has to say. All right? Says Chapo, quote unquote, who claims to have written 5 a.m. in Toronto, which I've never seen him come out and blatantly claim to write 5 a.m. in Toronto. The leak was literally circulating. When I found the leak on Twitter, it had over 1 million views on it, and Chapo was not claiming it. It was other people in the comments claiming it was him or claiming it sounded like him. That's what made me even investigate into who he is. But, you know, it's not like the No Spin TV people are interested in facts. So they say, again, Chapo, who claims to have written 5 a.m. in Toronto and Drake's other timestamp records, is a lying goofy. Drake has never met him in his life. Now, as it pertains to the nature of a possible reference track getting to an artist, let's just say we're not talking about Chapo, we're not talking about Drake, we're just talking about the music industry in general. If I were contacted by a label, a publisher, a manager, an assistant affiliated with an artist situation or what have you, they say we need a song like this, we got a beat, we got a skeleton of the beat, it's not all the way done yet, just need you to lay down some ideas, send it back to us. Does that mean I have to be in the studio with the artist in order to get that done? If I'm vibing off the sound of the instrumental, does that mean I have to literally be in the artist's presence in order to communicate what it is that your team or the people associated with you requested? I don't think so. We still haven't verified if Quentin Miller was necessarily in the studio with Drake when those reference tracks were made, right? We don't know if Drake may have gone out to dinner and Quentin was in that motherfucker just laying some shit down, and maybe he came back and was like, oh, wow, this is fire. Let me do that. Since we can verify those. But we never verified if Drake was in the studio at the very moment when it happened. Nonetheless, we're not talking about Drake, right? We're just talking about the situation. They're talking about Drake. So then they say these are DMs to Drake from 2016 to 2023. Another K-bot narrative debunked. Okay? So clearly, what they want to do is try to incite a K-bot versus OV-Ho, I guess, war, which I'm not going to partake in. I talk about the news in music, left or right. I've always said I'm partial to Kendrick, but I cover the news. At least we can be honest about these things, right? Honesty is the policy. So here's the DMs that they claim come from Chapo, all right? So they've already got this stuff here with Live Moolah, which is his Instagram handle. He reached out to someone, allegedly, because I don't even know if he would say that these DMs are, in fact, real. But the DMs that are in front of us state, OG, I would love to work, man. You're an inspiration to us younger generation. I'm from East New York, Brooklyn, out here trapping to invest money into myself, just trying to get on radar. You probably won't read this, LOL, but I got a link in my bio of my video. Be honored if you even watched. Okay, so that was May 4th of 2016, allegedly sent from Live Moolah, aka Chapo, which was also allegedly never responded to. Okay. We have another one here from June 26, 2019. So this is 3 years later. What's good, big homie? Any advice you could give would be a gem. Okay. So 3 years later, they claim he's still reaching out. Same year, November 26th, 2019. This is right after Thanksgiving. This post is unavailable, and we've got prayer hands. They claim that there is also someone mentioned him in the story from April 23rd, 2023, which is no longer available. And I think they're trying to say that the way that this is constructed, I guess they're claiming that Chapo mentioned Drake in his story approximately 2 years ago. But again, we do not see Champagne Papi. We don't see his photo. We don't see anything that would signify that these alleged messages were sent to Drake. Okay? There's not a single piece on here that says Drake or Champagne Papi, and we know it would on Instagram. Find it very interesting. You could just magically find this thread, but you don't know who he is. Okay? So then, their second half of the post has our thumbnail here from Inside the Industry with J Nolan. Welcome to the show. Welcome back for those of you that are watching in silence and, communing with No Spin TV. So, here, this is their screenshot of our upcoming interview, which, of course, the interview was released, Sunday? And as you can see, they had their notifications set ahead of time. So I don't know if this was on Friday or Saturday that they, I think I put it up Saturday. So whoever is convening with No Spin TV They keeping tabs on what's going on over here. Y'all had y'all notification and y'all was seated for the conversation. We appreciate the views. But damn, you ain't gotta try to disrespect niggas to say hi, brother. Or sister, whoever did this shit. But since we got y'all attention over there on No Spin TV and other affiliates and other people that want to act like Chapo is some chump off the street who ain't never did nothing, I can't tell y'all his connection to Drake. You know what I'm saying? That's not my story to tell if there is a connection there. But what I can tell you is that my research showed me Chapo, he used to go by the name Juice once upon a time. He said, I was signed as a songwriter to Harvey Mason Jr. from 2008 to 2013. At that time, me and Boy Wonder did a project that turned into something different. Just check the dates. This been my sound since the beginning. The Chop Shop, just Google Harvey Mason Jr. and report back. For those who don't know, I've already done that work for you. We told you he's the head of the Recording Academy. He's been there for a few years now. He's over the Grammys. If you saw this year's Grammy show, he's the one who introduced The Weeknd back to the show. Okay, now let's go ahead and play what him and Boy Wonder worked on during this time period. And we do have dates on that.
Said it's on. Yeah. The moment that they said I was on.
Hey yo, what up, Boy Wonder?
Sleeping no need for too
Welcome to Brooklyn, baby.
I gotta give respect for my own.
I be the juice man. Going off the deep and they shaking. The hottest nigga in the game just met his replacement. Yeah.
The moment that they said I was on.
See what I'm talking about, though?
Sleeping no need for
I
too
get the controversy start now.
I gotta give respect for my own.
Hey, yo, I knew this was gonna happen too, Boy Wonder. I knew once me and you got in the room, it was gonna be crazy like this.
So that is the song between Boy Wonder and, when he was first discovered, he went by the name Juice, right? And remember, in our interview, he talked about going by Juice. You know, at one point they called him Jizzle, famous Jizzle, right? So he went through numerous name changes throughout his duration in the industry. So maybe some people may not know him under certain monikers. Maybe they know him from different eras in which they may have met him. This is from his Juice era, spelled Jooce. He also has a mixtape called The Brooklyn Dodger, released under the name Famous Jizzle, that also featured skits from Mekhi Phifer, early Kevin Hart. So we see that he was in circumference of a lot of these different people. He was signed to an ex-NBA player by the name of Chris Mills. So just giving y'all a recap. Those of y'all that been here, y'all don't need this information, but clearly we have new eyes on us today. So I want to just give y'all the refresher course on all of this. Now let's go back to this, right? We did it the first time around. We shall do it again. All right. So here is the email thread. All right. So this is dated February 19th, 2010. So this is a record from 2010, which falls into the margin of 2008 to 2013. Okay. He's going back and forth in email with Michael. What is that? Michael Daly. Okay. And at the time, this is Michael Daly from Harvey Mason Media, which is the company that Harvey Mason ran for his songwriters, producers, etc. in the industry. Let's see if there's anything else in here that I need to kind of go here. So this is one of two emails that was sent at the time. And you see the email, right? Cool. Let's share our screen for something else. This is 2020. Meet Mike Daly, the producer behind your favorite K-pop tracks. This is the same person, okay? So we're going to skip past some of this. And I didn't even know Mike Daly was involved in the K-pop world, but it makes sense, right? So here, after briefly attending the University of Arizona, Daly moved to LA where he enrolled in the Los Angeles Recording School. Shortly after, he landed an internship with Harvey Mason Jr. and Damon Thomas, the American hitmaker duo famously known as the Underdogs. By then, Daly was convinced about his path as a producer, but he had to step up his game to achieve success. So he was an intern early on, which makes sense why Juice, aka Fame, aka Chapo, would have been emailing back and forth with Mr. Mike Daly rather than going back and forth with Harvey Mason himself. Right? So this just goes to show you what we're talking about. He says, I'm not going to lie. I realized how far I was away from being a producer. This is during that time period, just from where I was and where they were. It almost made me stop producing. I considered getting into management and the executive side of the industry. His ongoing efforts to improve the caliber of his beats reached a juncture where songwriter Mike J started writing to them, blase blah. His first placement with Chris Brown opened everything up. He said, without that, I would have never gone to South Korea with Harvey Mason Jr. Okay? And not to mention, if y'all listened to my interview with Chapo, he talked about being in the LA scene amongst people like Chris Brown, Tiana Taylor, and folks of the like that were of, younger ages that were coming up in the industry, right? His first placement here, Mr. Mike Daly, was with CB. 2013, which is actually the year Chapo says he was no longer working with Harvey Mason Media. Daly traveled with the Underdogs production team to Seoul, Korea for his first songwriting camp. So at that point, they shifted their focus to the K-pop industry in 2013. Find that to be interesting. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I'm just giving y'all context to what it is that we're seeing in his receipts. Let's dig a little further into Harvey Mason Media, shall we? John Legend, Harvey Mason, Universal plots French Quarter set of the Phantom of the Opera. Harvey Mason, John Legend. Okay? They have a whole IMDb. I'm not going to go over there right now. But Sing and Sing 2 were produced under Harvey Mason Media. Fraggle Rock, Respect, the Aretha Franklin biopic. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, Season 1 and 2. Pitch Perfect, 1, 2, and 3. Jesus Christ Superstar. Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. Dreamgirls, y'all know how big that is. The Wiz Live. Straight Outta Compton. Get On Up, the James Brown story. Over the Moon, Shrek the Third. It's another project that y'all might not guess was under the Harvey Mason Media umbrella. For my people that been around, y'all remember More Than a Game, LeBron James? The 2008 documentary film that follows basketball superstar LeBron James and 4 of his teammates through the trials and tribulations of high school basketball in Akron, Ohio, and James' journey to fame. The film trailer was released featuring the single Stronger by Mary J. Blige, which she released in support of the film. The soundtrack, titled Music Inspired by More Than a Game, was released September 28th, 2009. Okay? Remember, Chapo says he was there from what was that, 2008 to 2013? So here we are getting into the soundtrack of the film. The music is mainly inspired by A.J. Mighton and John Colwell, an executive producer of the movie. Harvey Mason Jr. also is an executive producer of the soundtrack album, Music Inspired by More Than a Game. The album was due for release on September 28, 2009 in the UK and September 29th in the US. Interscope is the main record label involved through Polo to Don's label, Zone 4 Inc. Productions, Mason's Harvey Mason Media, the main production associates and publishers involved. So they were the administrative people behind this project. Producers for the project include Boy Wonder, Daniel Reyna, Polo the Don, and Jerome Harmon, amongst others. The soundtrack features songs from Esther Dean, Drake, T.I., Mary J. Blige, Jay-Z, and Soulja Boy, amongst others. The album also features additional vocals or raps from Chris Brown, Kanye West, Lil Wayne, Eminem, Tony Braxton, JoJo, Jordan Sparks, Ya Boy, Omarion, and Faith Evans, plus others. Okay? We don't got to go too much further into that. Just letting y'all know this was a very iconic project that was released during the tenure of Chapo being in association with Harvey Mason Media. He said he was there from 2008 to 2013. Then we have this tweet from Chapo. Me and Vinyls recorded this back in New York City at MBK Studios, I want to say in 2013. So this is around 2013, because at this point he's transitioning out of Harvey Mason Media, going into MBK Entertainment, right? So this is a song called Priceless, produced by Vinyls. Once again, look up Boy Wonder, look up Vinyls, and look up who those producers have a majority of their work with, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he did anything outside of what he's saying that he did, okay? So now we're going to play this record, or what's been shared of it.
I've been putting on, but as soon as I get home, make you scream like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Your body like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Take you places that you never been, I promise we'll go there. I swear I know what you like, shawty, you ain't gotta tell. Come on, body language, girl, I speak it very well. I see you ain't gotta say too much. Girl, your body saying enough. Let's have a conversation, body to body.
All right, so that's Fame with Priceless, produced by Vinyls, somewhere in the ballpark of 2013. You know, I'm not saying that record was made for anyone in particular. I don't know that. I'm not saying it was sent out. All I know is this is something that he worked on with this person in 2013. So that's two major producers who have hits upon hits upon hits. And look up the camp they come from, because they're Team OVO today. Okay? Now, do I know for a fact or that Chapo and Drake have a relationship? I do not know that. I don't know if they've met, right? And in Chapo's interview with me, we didn't pressure him to get into that. That wasn't the story. We're getting into his story, who he was, because the whole thing was, who is Chapo? We know who Drake is. We know some of what Drake has done. We know what Drake has accomplished. And we know some of what Drake has not done in terms of his penmanship, which, whatever. It's not even all that big of a deal to me. It matters more to everyone else than me in particular. I personally know a lot of these niggas get help. It's not my job to put that information out there. I only cover what's out there, okay? And there's nothing wrong with getting help. Niggas get help. It takes a village to raise a child, they say. So that's not what we're here to do. But what we're not going to do is discount a person's story when it's available. It's been tracked. It's Googleable. We're not going to do that. Shout out to YouTube with their timestamps of how they keep things, you know, because you go and pull something up on YouTube, it tells you the date it was posted. So remember in our interview with Chapo, he told us he had a song called Koi, which he actually did not like, but it was getting played on 106 in Park, I think for a consecutive 4 weeks or something like that at the time. Well, the earliest known posting that I see on YouTube at this time and I'll check later, but from what I can see here, this is March 15th, 2011. I don't know if y'all can see the date over here. Let me get my shit out the way. Hold on. March 15th, 2011. Brooklyn's own Fame. Remember, he used to go by the name Fame. With his hot new joint out right now titled Koi. The MBK J Records Space Stars rapper singer is gearing up to release his hybrid season mixtape. MBK J Records. Y'all remember J Records, don't y'all? Well, once J Records was dissolved, they ended up turning the company into RCA. And y'all definitely know who RCA is because they're the label with all the R&B artists over there. And many of them are actually unhappy behind the scenes, but we're not here to talk about that now, are we? We're just getting into the story. So this is Koi by Fame. And again, this earliest posting that I see is March 15th, 2011. And I believe there was a push for this record even after all of this happened, because I see others that are posting it from 2014 and stuff like that. Not gonna play too much of this record, just gonna give y'all a little spin of it because I know he don't even fuck with the joint.
Ego on swole, money obese, Bentley on spur, girls on me. Them boys what it is, I'm what it's gon' be. You staring at the future, ESP, nigga, space stars deep, so the tag gon' be high. Bottles on deck, make your baby say I. Standing on your couches, screaming we up in this bitch, go for the nighters, nigga, I ain't trying remember shit. Stumbling my sentences, telling chicks they haven't seen. From the look I estimate, I'll be fucking definite. Let's make the best of it, bring your friend too, and y'all can share this deep, cause that's what friends do. Alcohol sparkles all the time. You ain't shining in the club cause your table next to mine. And it's the type of attitude that get them all the time, cause they all love a young nigga getting this shine. I can make you fall in love with
It's him singing too.
tonight. Oh, show you things that you never seen in life. But I ain't come here to find love, even though you fine as fuck. The timing ain't right, plus I'm feeling all nice, and I won't remember you in the morning. Shawty, you could be the one I can't tell.
All right, just a quick sample. And if y'all can remember, the people that were around Fame at this time, or Chapo as we now know him to be, they wanted him to be Trey Songz 2.0. So in that song, you hear a couple different vibes, right? He also revealed during our interview he had a record with DJ Mustard that came out. I mean, if he's a nobody that ain't did nothing in the industry, how is he doing songs with Boy Wonder, Vinyls, DJ Mustard, all these different types of people? You know what I'm saying? Just some random nobody. So here we are on SoundCloud. We found this record, DJ Will / Fame. So I guess DJ Will had a project which featured Fame. A song is called Vitamin D, and it is produced by DJ Mustard and The Business. Now, y'all may not know who The Business is. Go look up Good Kid, Mad City. Look at track 1. First track on there, produced by The Business. I had the pleasure of, I haven't met him in person, but I had the pleasure of meeting Henny from The Business earlier this year. Because me and, was it earlier this year or the end of last year? It was within the last 6 months. Because my homegirl, London Elixir, her and Henny are real tight. And we all came together to do a music conference, a virtual music conference for artists, producers, and writers that want to get in the game. So I was able to meet Henny from The Business, if y'all have never heard that tag. Okay? So just verifying these names here. So let's go ahead and give y'all a little taste of this Vitamin D record from Fame, DJ Mustard, and The Business.
your mind. If I put you on, girl, this could change your life. So you got a nigga, but he ain't treating you right. Cause I see you up sweet, late hours of the night. You should come and get the sack right. Cause you been posting, shawty, you been posting all them sexy pictures of you. I know you're lonely, shawty, know you're lonely. Call me up and I'm tired of tapping this screen. Won't you let me come tap on you? Girl, your body needs touching. I'ma use my GPS on you. This vitamin D, vitamin D. Is that what you need? So why you wanna tease me? I just wanna please you. This vitamin D, vitamin D. And he can get to you like me. Girl, I know you ain't a freak, ooh, but I wanna freak you. I know you ain't happy.
All right, so that's a taste of the Vitamin D record from Fame, produced by DJ Mustard and The Business. And I ain't gonna lie, don't that beat low-key remind you of High Fashion from Roddy Ricch? I'm not saying it has anything to do with it. I'm just saying the vibe of that joint kind of puts me in that mindset. But shout out to everybody that contributed to that. Big shout out to DJ Will. And this was uploaded on SoundCloud about 10 years ago, I believe it says. Yep, 10 years ago. I don't have the date, the exact date, but it does say 10 years ago on SoundCloud. Okay? And just for a really quick verification, we've got The Business here. They produced Every Girl off Young Money, which has proven to be a very controversial record. I wish I could fuck every girl in the world over the years. So shout out to The Business for the work they did there. Not to mention my president from Jeezy. We're gonna skip over the R, but you got Nelly on here. You got Pleasure P. This is not even their full credits. You got Chris Brown multiple times, Brandy, the whole nine. Shout out to The Business once again. I told y'all I'm not the one to play with. Here's Vibe 2012. Rapper singer Fame talks rock star style and top stylish men of hip hop. Now remember, this is 2012, so style and all this stuff was different back then. We're not really going to get into that, but I want to get into some of the things that are discussed in here. So they say, born to a single mother in the heart of East Brooklyn, his story is similar to New York rappers before him, but having spent time living in Los Angeles, ain't that what he told us in our interview? Vibe.com has an article here verifying spent time living in Los Angeles and traveling around the world. His eye for fashion leads many to believe that he is today's generation's music and fashion phenom, like Biggie was to the 90s and Kanye was to the millennium. With an ear for music that is on par with his sense of style, it's no wonder the young artist caught the attention of music execs and signed a deal to MBK Entertainment, quickly launching a career that shows no signs of slowing down. With appearances on 106 in Park, he told us this on our interview. It's verified and backed by a 13-year-old article on Vibe.com, a spot on the BET Music Matters tour, and his latest mixtape Hybrid Season 2, which following this, he also showed up in the BET Cypher. Will continue. Scheduled to drop that year, Fame is not only catching the attention of rap fans, but the eyes of fashion executives, editors, and young females. Once unheard of in the world of rap, Fame, with his unique mix of R&B and rap, wants his turn to prove to the world exactly where his music and style fits in. He sat down with Vibe Vixen to tell us more about the artist, the music, and the wardrobe. Just a few years ago, labels wouldn't take the singing, rapping artist seriously, but with the success of Drake and now Chris Brown doing it, did that make you more comfortable doing both? He says, I wouldn't say more comfortable. This is his answer to this question. Check this out. He says, I wouldn't say more comfortable because that's where my comfortability has been since the beginning of my career, even before it was accepted and before Drake had his success. I was in the studio working. This is an interview from 2012. They're asking him, hey, aren't you inspired by the fact that people are accepting Drake and Chris Brown doing a hybrid of rap and singing? He says, no, I'm not inspired by that because that's what I've always been doing. That doesn't sound like the words of somebody who's going to be kicking down the doors to come commiserate with Drake if he feel like I already been doing this shit anyway. And this ain't no made up shit. This is a real article that anybody could find if you go look for it. Let's continue to what he says here. He says, I acknowledge what Drake did because he kind of opened the door for it and made people see that it's not as dumb and not as ridiculous that many people think. I remember when I first said I was going to do the whole singing and rapping thing, a lot of people looked at me as if I were crazy. I just never stopped because I knew it was going to be a time. Now I'm just happy the world is starting to accept it. Very interesting answer. Very confident answer for someone in 2012 who at the time we didn't even know was out here. Or at least we weren't paying attention. They get into more. They talk about drawing inspiration from Jay-Z, Biggie, Fabulous, all these different people. But I think you pretty much get the gist, right? They start talking and asking him about his personal style and all that different type of stuff, but we don't got to get into that. You could go check that out on your own time. The last thing I want to address is the matter of fame or Chapo, his age. Some people say, well, if this happened, then he was only 17 years old, okay? Well, according to his old bio from many years ago, he was born June 25th, 1991. Okay, so that makes him how old? I'm 30. I just hit 36. So he will be 34. So if you do the math on these equations you're coming up with, and y'all know the equation that you're coming up with if you're trying to debunk him, he wasn't 17. He would have been 22. Or maybe 21, you know. But again, I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm just saying if you want to put that together. All right? So, Chapo's been out here. I think somebody asked him when he started doing the rap sing combo thing the other day. I saw on Twitter. He said he began this in 2005. That's been his style since around 2005. And if y'all can remember, 2005, he said, prior to that, he was with Chris Mills. Chris Mills was with Baron Davis. Baron Davis was with Game. What album came out in 2005? Game's debuted the documentary. Again, information that can be found online if you just went to go looking for it, you know? So this video was not made to crash out on nobody. We're not here to give that energy. We're not here to, I like pulling up receipts. I like talking about, what's really out here. So if you want to go verify and fact check and go look further into who Chapo is, what Chapo's done, go look up the artist Juice. Go look up the artist Famous Jizzle. Go look up the artist Fame. All you got to do is a little bit of digging around. Go on his TikTok and see the stuff that he's been posting for the last year or so. He tells you who he is. He tells you, you know what I'm saying? This is not some Pandora's box that just all of a sudden got opened. The shit been here the whole time. It just took somebody to actually put it on Front Street. All right? And y'all caught the right one because I ain't with the shits. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not going to fuck with me. Now, this is our second time really having an encounter with the DJ that don't spin. The first time that nigga came around here and somebody on his team came around here stealing my thumbnail. That was some petty shit. But it wasn't really all that deep. Petty shit, I was pissed. You know what I'm saying? You could at least shout at me on the fucking video. You're going to take my shit. Put my name still on it. But now we got no DJ Don't Spin TV coming out, trying to discredit our conversation, our interview with Chapo, trying to discredit Chapo. And we're not going to stand for that neither. But again, we're going to hit y'all with receipts, not crash outs, all right? Because the other stuff y'all talking about, I don't know what y'all talking about, all right? But make sure y'all go check out Chapo's new project, Chapo. His artist name is Live Moolah on streaming platforms. All you got to do is search it. You can find it. It's there. Look up NDA Freestyle, which is, as he says, stands for not doing anything. And then he's also got complex freestyle, which is available for you as well. All right. If y'all have any questions, come back to this video until the next time that we have a conversation with Chapo, okay? Because it's getting outrageous. But let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city in cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.